Part 7. What do you do after you sell your Uncle Harry? I don't have an Uncle Harry or a mother-in-law who could afford to buy a car because I needed to sell on. And as I have already made pretty clear, I sure needed to sell on. But I have that Coca-Cola guy think you have your arm. Oh, then I had that prospect list I told about. 4 pages from the default phone book, 2 with 2 yellow, and there was a telephone on my desk. I was new and green, and I don't know that the only way to sell was the stand around messing quarters and streets until it was my turn. My UP to take a shot at somebody walking through the front door. I had promised I would not take floor time for the other salesmen, and mostly I keep my promise and I worked my list. I don't believe I worked a list mood on our pages from the phone book. Well, I have got news for you. I did it, and I would beat anything that if I had to, I could do it today to make a good living. It's easy to agree that cold connected calls generate a lot of uncles work. That's true. You get a lot of no answers. Some out of service numbers, a few people who don't understand you, some who don't speak English. But if you work in right, you will get some action. And if you have a few didn't minutes and unfilled hour, you cannot afford the heat physical labor of making help of dozen phone calls to get nothing. And maybe just on have gives you leaves hate, and that effort might turn out to be little more valuable than scratching your nose to listing a bad joke. There's a lot of more productive ways to get leads than cold telephone calls. But if you have nothing better to do, this kind of call is worth to try. We will get to always a double system to getting leads. Prospects and customers soon, yeah, but right now I want to prove that even that's a latest productive way to getting, because cold calls from a phone book, it's better to doing nothing. So pick up the phone even if you don't have a good list of prospects. You are located a Shamdom and area that has a phone book a spec location for your part of town. That's better, of course, but it's not necessary. Remember, I did it the worst spaced town in out the box at random. If I had to do that when today, I dump through for a few minutes for looking a street address or names that stand out right, and then I didn't pick up the phone. How to sell on the phone? Let's say I hit 10 dumps it in a row, don't answer, no speak, many way, shopping. Now I am calling, dumping the details, so I didn't want to call too early. It's late morning, but suppose I get nothing at all on my first 10 calls. What has it cost me? There are 4 minutes. Okay, now I am home and answer the telephone. Hello, Mr. Crochet. That's so great. 8 minutes complete. I just wanted to let know that the car you ordered it's ready. I tell her, now remember, this is a cold call, and I know from sure from the phone back is pretty's name, address, and phone number. That's Mr. Kaushik does not know what I am talking about. I'm afraid you have the wrong number. We have not ordered a new car. She tells me, are you sure? I ask, pretty sure. My husband would have told me. See, guys, just a minute. I say, in this home of Carolina J. Kaushik, no, my husband's name is Steven. I write down through of course I know because it's says to write there the phone book. Mr. Kaushik, I am very sorry to have disturbed you for this way a day. I sure you are very busy. Maybe she says it's no terrible at all the winds to tell that me she was just got back from a supermarket. Whatever it is, I didn't tell her guns up yet. I went to keep her on phone because I am not done, and maybe she has no on to tell to see he downs give up. Mr. Koshi, you don't not happen to be in the market for a new car, do you? If he knows they are, she'll probably say yes. But the typical answer I will be, I don't think so, but you have to ask my husband. There it is, what I am looking for. Oh, when I reaches him and she say, is he actually home by 6? Okay, I've got what I wanted. Well, fine. Mr. Koshi, I'll call back then. If you are sure I win a inspecting super, I went to her to tell my don't eat until about 6:30 and then I think her. You know what I am going to be doing at 6 o'clock. And that's right. Mr. Hello, Koshi. That's a joke graded and meals covered. I spoke to Mr. Koshi this morning and she suggests I am called back at this time. I was wondering if you are in the market for few new carpet. No, he says, no just yet. So I asked, well, when you think you might start looking at a new car? I asked that question out and he is going to think about it to give me an answer. Maybe he only wants to get rid of me, but whenever the reasons what he says is probably going to be what it really means. It's easier than trying to dream up to lie. I guess I will be knitting on and about 6 months. He says about the finish. It's fine, Mr. Koshi. I will be getting in touch with you then. Oh, bye. That's the way we are driving now. He tells me I think him and hang up. I also write down his name, address and phone number along with whatever information I have packed in my conversations such as right he works, how many kinds of have and what he drives. I put it all on the 3x5 card for my file and my mailing list, and I also write it down a duty that keep it. I write it down every day at 6 o'clock and on day 5 months from now. Not 6 like he said. Within that come up, the better believe I will come up and do everything. I cannot him that was a car told him he is going to need them. This is a priceless information I developed from a 2 minutes telephone conversation. Selling is an experience game. If you want to sell something to someone, she should find out all they can about that person that partners or your business. If you are selling typewriters to businesses, you could find out from the company how many typewriters they have, how old they are, how often they are needed to repair, what kind they are, does the company or own listing. Is this company growing? Well, this hiring new secretaries who the decision maker is. No matter what you sell, if we spend some time each day feeling the secret of the failures, when you will soon have a lot of people waiting to be sold. Making your own project lines. When I started out, I just put the stuff on a place of a paper and solved it into a drawer. But one day I discovered a lot that I had not followed because I did not have a string. So when I string store, but it's bought the duty of little 3x5 card file. That's the beginning of my intelligence system. I transferred everything on those strings of paper into my record system, and I hate that start of a mailing list, a telephone call back system. If you don't have anything like that, you had better get on, because you can't possibly keep the all lists, and you can develop in your head the on breaks and envelopes your pocket. Not if you are doing a proper job prospecting. I just described a cold call got me good lead and eventually a sale. That happens not just on but many times. I cannot count how many times, and Chances are I have sold a lot of people named Toshi and so even names with not complete function. Now you will have to admit that what I did it's no magic. It's even very hard to do. In fact, I have probably heard and screamed there other people make other telephone calls that wicked and much and many did so. I did not really need to tell you much more about this technique, but we shall have to remember to those observes easy things instead hanging out and with the boys. As I said, I did not particularly enjoy the boundary wall session in the sunroom. I find them a waste of valuable selling time. And besides, I can always think of something else more important to do than hang around doing nothing. I like the money I make, and I like the thrill of the closing a deal. In fact, many say I am selling junkie. I love the kick of getting a sale, but it soon wears off. So I have to do again and again and again. I got bad wonderful snowtoms and if you can sell cars every day, yet a lot of them something it sell many cars in a week as other guy sell a month. If they are satisfied what they kind of performance, that's their business, but I am not about do something a lot of things about it. Let's face this fact. If somebody can sell 5 cars a week just by hanging around and telling his terms at the door, he knows how to sell, but he can do that thing of the way he can build 5 times as much traffic coming in just to see him. If he is just a effective and is closing to extra business, he earning will zoom even you only get the sum practicing of sales he got before. So what do you do after you sell your Uncle Harry to build up the flow and you get all the sets fueled and polish level? There are plenty of ways to do that. Cold calling is all, but there are other ways to end your work at or you see that the other ways to are even more productive, better way to fill your name, your time, so that you can fill there until of selling and make a big money getting your kicks. After the eyes out, there are many quantities if you keep searching. Thanks for listening.